Hello there. Hi everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I hope wherever everyone is, you are doing well. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas if you celebrated it. I hope you had just enough fun and not too much for New Year's Eve last night. And thank you and welcome to 2023. Hi everybody, hello. We have a small groups that we can go through. We'll go through our 2 full rounds like we usually do, but if you want to take your time and have a little more time for all of your readings, that's totally wonderful if you would like to. I'm going to, like I always do, is I start by reading things from the issues of magazines that were just released today, actually. So the first one is Moving Forward, which is the January 2023 issue, volume 329. There's a Moving Forward. It was this cool train. Anyway, but anywho, I thought I would share 3 pieces from it. Haha. And there, sorry Susan, there won't be poems about abortion rights in these rounds. So I was trying to find things that were a variety of different pieces in these things. So this first one is a dream poem. The guy that ran the open mic that I ended up taking over in Chicago, he started doing things about dreams that as he'd recollect them. So I thought, why don't I, if I remember them, do them too? So this is called Outside of the Door, Dreams, 5/27/22. I think we're on a road trip or something, and we stopped at a mall or a food court or something, and I said that I should use a public washroom before we got on the road again. I stepped into the most dilapidated room I've ever seen, walked over to dirty stall doors that were shoulder high, and I looked down to find a lock on the outside of the door. Then I then I looked to the floor, and there was feces and urine covering the ground. I saw an additional lock from the inside of the stall, that no one else was in this room, so I stepped inside a stall and I tried to close the door, but it was too far away from the wall brace for it to lock or come close to fastening. But if no one was there, I might as well just get this over with. So I started to pull at my pants, looked down, and saw that my laces were untied and now getting soaked with urine. Keep in mind, I don't own shoes with laces. Anyway, but suddenly, a man walked into the bathroom all nonchalant-like toward another stall. So I said, "Excuse me, this is the ladies' room." And without him turning his head toward me, he just said something under his breath, like, "What difference does it make?" And that's when I saw his face, and he reminded me of a guy on SNL who was first at Second City, like it was some sort of connection for me from Chicago. But now that I think about it, the man looked more like the guy who played Lenny on Laverne and Shirley. All this was making no sense to me, and I couldn't even think of going to the bathroom anymore. So I just made sure my clothes were in place, and I just cut the hell out. I walked outside in this small mall area where I was supposed to be meeting my husband, and all I could think was, if this was first thing in the morning, why was the bathroom so filthy? I hope I didn't reek of feces while I kept searching for him, until I saw him standing on a ladder helping people in a storefront down the hall. He saw me, waved, quite animatedly, actually, I might add, and I was wondering why he was helping these strangers, and then I heard, beep, 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 front door. And I woke hearing the alarm system for my front door, letting me know that my husband just left the house for a pre-dawn walk before the sun rises here and makes it too damn hot to enjoy anything outside. So I went to the bathroom. It was clean, by the way. And when I came back to bed, I heard my cat meow. So I got in bed, tapped on the mattress, tapped on the bed, and she jumped up. I scratched her ears, and then she turned toward my feet and laid down along my leg. I put my hand down next to her, and she moved one of her back paw legs along my arm a few times until she rested her back paw on my arm. My mouth was closed, but literally in a grin, as we bonded 40 minutes before I heard beep, 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 front door. And then I knew that soon I could then curl up with my husband again. I told him about my dream, and he asked me why I keep dreaming about bathrooms, and why are they usually so filthy, and why are they all so invasive. I have no idea. I've been wondering about this for a while now, so maybe someone out there could let me know. Why do I feel like I'm somehow being assaulted in a room that's supposed to be private? Why am I always being assaulted in the most private of places, in the middle of the night, in my dreams? Done. That was the first one. That was the first one.
Messed up in the dream.
Like, why am I think I've had another dream about a bathroom a long time ago, and Sean's like, you had a dream in a bathroom, and it was like a garage sale, and people were walking through it. I'm like, yeah, and it had floor-to-ceiling mirror windows. I'm like, what? This makes no sense. But that was another dream. I have no idea why. But this is not a dream. This is something that I haven't shared with anyone else. Tom would have heard it when on our 22-year wedding anniversary we went to Animal Tales to read, and this is one of the poems that I read for because it was animal themed poetry, and this is called Only Recourse. Kittens watched me walk away before I stepped on a plane, flying me 16 hours away to a time zone 11 and a half hours early. Stepping off the plane, exhausted, I saw hundreds of fish in a long glass aquarium along the floor as they advertised a fish pedicure. Now, I've swam to ocean floor sharks. I've had barracudas circling my feet, so I thought, an all-natural way for feed fish and to relieve my feet. Wee, what a treat. So I sat down as hundreds of fish swam by for a nibble, and I couldn't stop giggling the entire time. I have a photo from it that's in the book, but I also have it in color here. Me sitting at this foot spa thing with my feet with a bunch of fish in this tank. Anywho, and I'm giggling about it. Now, I'm a lover of animals. I wouldn't kill them to wear them or to eat them. So only years later did I learn from the New Delhi Times, Al-Bal Muhajimar, and I have it in proper language here, the problem that humans caused exploiting thousands of animals to create some extravagant, unnecessary, unneeded niche market. These little fish called Gara rufa are specially grown in tanks and imported into India, eating human flesh when starved of their plankton and vegetable diet. These mistreated fish suffer with systemic bacterial infections from the eyes, mouth, gills, abdomen, and their excrement has all of that in this water that we humans are charmed into inserting our feet in. I mean, some of these foot baths may even cause hepatitis C and HIV. As I said before, what a treat. This water was once tested in a shipment where a slew of different bacteria thrived, resistant to most antibacterial medications that cause soft tissue infections. And since this isn't a medical practice, there's no oversight whatsoever. I have shots of this throughout this thing. I put my feet in this tank like this once, thinking that I was doing something good for these fish. Silly me. I should remember that when it comes to humans, the first thing they think when it comes to animals is abuse. So in this case, we should think about how to help these thousands of animals instead. I believe I'm a concerned citizen to help women trapped in physical or sexual abuse. I immerse myself in other cultures to assist all who don't seem to fit that Caucasian mold. And I think being a vegetarian is enough to help all animals on planet Earth, but I once inadvertently became a willing participant in a system to support the torture and abuse of thousands and thousands and thousands. And I giggled about it the entire time, too. It makes me wonder, did I mistreat the fish I kept in an aquarium, including the bluegills from a lake that would have eventually become someone else's meal? Well, I didn't starve them, where their only recourse was consuming human flesh, because really, if we're all about love, how do we show it if we turn a blind eye to give concern to our comfort instead? Because, of course, giving ourselves comfort is all well and good, but I wonder what the real cost about feel good is. I mean, step back and embrace that big picture, because when we see the good one thing can do, that's the real comfort for everyone. Sorry about that, my little ranting piece. And it's such a strange thing, because you think about something like that, like, oh, that's going to be, a harmless thing, right? And then you're like, well, wait a minute, fish don't, like, they eat plankton, like these tiny little fish. What do they do to them? So, anywho, that was that one for you. And there's one more from this book. Yeah, I had said I had the photos from Only Recourse, and not only do I have those fish photos in here, but also from the live show reading from it. But I have one more that I'd like to share with you, and it is later in the book, because in the prose section, some people would send me periodic table short stories or whatever, so I would follow up and put in a periodic table poem. So I have one that is not only in this book, which is Moving Forward from cc&d magazine, but it's also in the periodic table of poetry. I have to shut them off. 2 books. What? This last one is actually called Technetium. You're named from the Greek word for artificial, because you were the first element man ever made. We wanted to discover, we wanted to find you out. We'd even create you if this is the only way. We can only find you after your brethren have been broken apart to reveal you. But the thing is, your name is a bit misleading, though, since you can be found naturally, albeit in trace amounts. Though it's funny, we searched for you for so long, and now we discover that you're a byproduct of our nuclear power stations. Then everyone thought that we wouldn't know what to do with nuclear waste. You've been put into the environment as low-level waste for nearly half a century. But what I've learned is that doctors inject small amounts of you into patients with tumors so they can see exactly where they need to heal people. People wondered what we'd do with our nuclear waste, but now you're used in 20 million medical procedures each year because your short half-life makes you safe. And the way you decay helps doctors see exactly what they need to do to save a life. And yeah, your nuclear waste injected into a human, but they need such a small amount that radiation is low. It's hard to believe that we searched for you for so long, and now you're injected into 20 million patients in North America alone each year. It's actually good that we found something good out, found you out, and found something good about you. It's fascinating when you learn these things for these elements, technetium. Like, what? You're like, oh, this can't be good. It's nuclear waste. But at the same time, they can be using it to help find tumors, be able to help people out when they have cancer. So I thought that was an interesting story for that. Hi, and thank you guys. That was a nice long one for me, but we've got a nice rotation here, and I would love to hear what our next reader is going to be. I've got John on the list, and of course Susan would follow, and then Richard, and then Lorna. I just want to sing your name, Lorna. I have no idea why. Anywho, so John, if you would like to go for 3 and 1.